It is my birthday week. Oh, baby. It's not giving anything for me right now, and that is pretty much the problem with it. The level of procrastination that I had when I was trying to read is intense.
My friend nostalgia, I found you when I heard the sweet sound of the ones who I once knew so well. In a voice memo from years ago, we were laughing about some nonsense. Oh, how I miss those friends.
See how much that we love each other, that's what we care about, right? Yeah. It's a big day.
Circumstances made it so they don't never see their faces.
Hello everybody, it is my birthday week and I am so excited. You all know me, I'm never excited ever, like literally for anything, especially not my birthday. I'm not somebody who looks forward to their birthday. But then out of all the birthdays you would expect me to not look forward to, you'd feel like 30 would be the one where I'm nervous and I don't want it to happen, but I'm so hyped. So this is going to be a weekly vlog, but it's not actually, I lied. I keep calling vlogs weekly vlogs if they don't have like a theme or a purpose, but it's only a weekly vlog if it's a week, Becca. And this is not going to be a week because this is essentially going to be my run up to New York vlog, which is my 30th gift to myself, I guess. My trip, we're going to New York as a joint 30th thing with me and my best friend whose birthday is right at the beginning of June. So because of scheduling, this is just gonna run up until the last day that I can edit it before I go away, which is like the 15th of May. So yeah, all we're gonna be doing really is working through, we're gonna be celebrating, having a grand old time, prepping for my trip and working through my TBR. So as well as being born soon, I also only have 2 working days this week, one of which is today. I labeled a bunch of candles this morning and started shipping them out, and I've also just filmed my wrap up. So tomorrow I need to edit all of my videos for this week, and then we're plain sailing until next week. But in terms of reading, the first thing that I have to get through, I have already started. If you watched last week's vlog, you'll know, and that is The Intimacy Experiment by Rosie Danan. So this one is the Literature Book Club book for May, which is a romance book club that was created by Steph from Steph Loves, and because I hauled this recently, she asked if I wanted to guest host, so I obviously said yes. Now the reason why I want to read this is because Rosie Danan is going to be attending Rare, which is a romance festival that I'm going to be going to in London in July, and so I wanted to give her books a try. Now this one it's 300 pages, so it's not too long, and I'm 54 pages into it, so I've made good progress so far, and I am going to be doing Patreon sprints tonight as well, so I do feel like I can get a good like chunk of this done. But this one is a contemporary romance about a woman who used to be a porn star and now has a educational sex positive online startup that it's educational, it's about sex and also intimacy and relationships. I don't quite get it at the minute. I don't understand. It's a subscription type platform. I don't get it. Like if I was interested in this platform, I'm not sure what it would be offering me. Like I'm not sure what I would be signing up for. I know it has like instructional videos and stuff, but yeah, I'm not quite clear on the details. But essentially she wants to switch this or like bring this to the next level and offer like in-person classes. So she's going to this like teaching seminar to try and essentially legitimize herself because people aren't taking her seriously because of the nature of her topic. And she's approached by a rabbi who is drop dead gorgeous, who wants her to teach a modern intimacy class at his synagogue because he's trying to get more people into the synagogue and he wants to be appealing to a younger audience. Now at first she doesn't really take this seriously and thinks he's kind of taking the piss out of her, and it seems that she has her own like complex relationship with her religion as well because she is actually Jewish, but eventually she agrees, and I'm assuming it is going to be a romance. Well, I know it's going to be a romance between the two of them. So first impressions, because that's all I can give you so far 50 pages in, is that I'm not too keen on the writing style because it is reading a little bit chick litty at this point, but some of my favorite romances like The Love Hypothesis and The Hating Game have a writing style that I didn't immediately like when I started the book, but I obviously like, I love those books. They're my favorite contemporary romances once I got into the story a little bit and kind of adjusted to the writing style. So I'm not writing it off yet. That's just my first impressions on it, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm expecting to finish this quite quickly. The live show is next Monday. I'll definitely be done before then, but hopefully, I mean, ideally I'd finish it tomorrow, but I don't know if that's realistic or not. So I ordered the purple color corrector toothpaste that you might have seen on TikTok. So we're gonna see if it works. I don't kind of doubt that it does. I just don't know how long lasting it's going to be. Like, doesn't it just last for a little while after you use it, and then it kind of like, you know, rubs off throughout the day kind of situation? It says apply 2 pumps to a soft bristle toothbrush, gently polish in a circular motion for 30 seconds, expel excess and rinse mouth after use, do not swallow. Okay, so should we do my teeth aren't actually that stained. Should I do like half of my mouth? There's like no good place in the bathroom for me to put my camera. It's like thick. Gross. You know what? I feel like there is like a difference, but I don't feel like it's as mind-blowing as I was led to believe. So yeah, that was just a very little product review. I'm gonna do the other half of my mouth now and we'll kind of see how it compares, because like obviously I've done this one a little bit as well. So if you look at the difference between these and like this, then there is a difference, but not like I thought it would be more like mind-blowing than that. So I was just having my lunch and this big old box arrived. It's very heavy and it is definitely 100% for my birthday, but on the front it says, this side up, handle with care, perishable, refrigerate upon arrival. So normally I would save it till my birthday, but I'm gonna crack it open now because obviously I have no idea what it is. Curtis did say that it says on the label like where it's from and what it is, but I'm not looking at that. And there is, it seems, gift note in here, which I will start off with. Oh, it's from Gav. It says, happy birthday, beautiful. Another year closer to my age. Haha, love you, Gav. Oh my God, bless you. What is it? What have you got me? It's gonna be a massive cake dick. Oh my God, it's fancy, whatever it is. Gavin! It has a big H on it. I can't get the box out. She a big old heavy hamper. Oh, baby! Gavin! Look at you spoiling me! Okay, it's the cheese, I think, that needs refrigerating. But it's a little cheese hamper. We have some chutney in here as well. That's a reference to you, girl. I don't actually say chutney like that. But we have original sourdough crackers. There is, oh, a mature cheddar with port and brandy. A jar of fresh chili jam. And ooh, some rosemary and garlic olives. And then the thing that's making this big and heavy is actually everything, but we also have, and I know nothing about wine, I'm assuming it's a red and it is an Argentinian wine. It says Royal Road and it's a Malbec. This is very sophisticated, Gavin. You know I'm a sophisticated lady now, apparently, but we all know that I don't drink wine like a sophisticated lady. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I might crack this open tomorrow night. Treat myself. Thanks, Gav.
On the internet, where I'll never really know what's going on behind this smile. I mean, I guess I could check in once in a while. But those friends are growing up, and there's no time for us to pretend we'd stay in touch. 'Cause everybody knows it will never be the same. We move on and people change. Yeah, us friends are growing up. And
So I feel like I should be bringing you a reading update right now, but I haven't really actually read anything this week / month. I don't have the Intimacy Experiment on me right now, it's upstairs, and I did read quite a bit of this on Monday night. I got to like page 100 or something, and then I read like 2 chapters yesterday. I read one last night in bed, I read one when I was at the salon. I've had my keratin treatment redone, so I read one while I was waiting for that to develop, and that's about it. So I'm on page 150ish of that, and to be honest, I don't really have anything to say about it because I'm actually not enjoying it very much. But it's not like, it's not cheesy, it's not cringy, it's not making me roll my eyes. I'm just pretty bored. It's not giving anything for me right now, and that is pretty much the problem with it. So like, I'm not excited to pick it up when I'm reading it. Like nothing, like it's not doing anything for me. I don't really see much chemistry between the main characters. The only reason why they like each other is because they're hot. Like they're very much attracted to each other, and that is established early on. But the only real reason given for that is that they think the other one is hot, which is fine. But like, I'm not, it's just, it's truly like, I have no feelings towards it. It's literally just fine. So yeah, my desire to pick that one up hasn't been strong. And then on Monday, something else that threw a spanner in the works is I remembered that I was supposed to be reading 35 pages a day of The Dragon Reborn. So I picked it up intending to start doing that on Monday night. I read one chapter, I went to bed. Over the last 2 days, I've read another chapter. And let me be honest, the second chapter was only 9 pages and it took me 2 days to read that. So as you can tell, my focus has not been there. We know what this is about, right? I'm reading it for Wheel of Time Long. It's the third book in the Wheel of Time series. Epic adult fantasy, big chosen one trope, eternal struggle between light and dark, where we're following the Dragon Reborn, or like this era's reincarnation of the Dragon Reborn, who plays a pivotal role in this eternal war between light and dark. And I'm actually really excited for this one because I have heard that Rand's perspective isn't in it very much. One of the main perspectives in here is going to be Perrin, who, when we've had his perspective in the past, which was mainly the first book, he wasn't super present in terms of perspectives in the second book. He was my favorite because of the area of magic and world and lore that like I feel his character is going to explore. So I'm looking forward to it in that regard, but like what's been going on like the first few days of the month, which is going to be a recurring theme for me, sadly is just not conducive to reading something like this where I need to be disciplined and I need like an hour, 2 hours a day to concentrate on it to get through the section. So that hasn't been going well either, but I have got other stuff done. I've cleaned my house. I've also done a bit of spring cleaning, which I am going to be continuing on with today. Today's activity is not a fun one, although it kind of is. Like, it's satisfying, I guess, but also tedious. So you know, like when you're in the bathroom, this could go so many places, but you know, like you'll finish your shampoo or your moisturizer and there'll be a tiny bit in the bottom and you're like, oh, I'll turn that upside down and I'll use it later, or like I'll make sure I get that out later, and then you never do. My task for today is to try and sort out all of those bottles that we currently have in the bathroom and either combine them or get rid of them, etc. So it's satisfying when it's done, but I'm actually doing this vlog clip to procrastinate on doing that right now. I've also like filmed, edited, scheduled all of my videos for like the next week or so that I can take the rest of the week off for my birthday, which is tomorrow. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And sorting out all of the orders for the restock that I did last week, all of the candle orders. So I have been doing stuff, just not reading. And then because I have a time limit, like we have friends coming around tonight, it's my birthday tomorrow, I want the rest of this week off until like Monday. I've been working a little bit into the night just to get that done so that I can have this time off. So just not reading really. And reading for me is it is a relaxing activity, but it's not something I can do to relax. Like when I'm keyed up, when I was anxious all last year, this is why I didn't read a lot. When I'm excited or anticipating something, I can't read to settle myself. I have to be settled to read. So when I'm in a mood like this, or when I've got stuff going on, or like I'm doing a lot, reading isn't something that I can do easily. Like I can't just finish an activity and pick up a book. I tend to need like 30 minutes to settle before I can pick up a book and concentrate on it. Otherwise I do a thing where like I'm reading and then something will pop into my brain and I have to get up and go do it. Or like it's Google things. Like sometimes I'll read and like a completely unrelated question will just pop into my brain and I have to Google it immediately. So yeah, my mindset recently hasn't been super conducive to reading, but I'll let you know, I guess, if any reading gets done. I wouldn't be overly hopeful. My aim is to finish at least one book before the end of this vlog. Hopefully two. I mean, my original goal was more than that, but we're just adjusted it to be a little bit more realistic. So I'm gonna go do the bathroom this afternoon. I'm gonna go see my dad because he normally pops by on my birthday to drop off my card and see me, but he has a couple of appointments in the morning and I'm actually heading out. I'm going to Manchester for my birthday night out, which I'm so excited about, at about midday tomorrow. So I'm gonna go see him ahead of that so that I do get to see him before my birthday. And then Beth and Nathaniel are going to be here later, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, definitely I don't think any reading is going to get done today, but if any reading does get done at any point in the future, you guys will be the first to know.
I still need to recover from another lover. Would you be here for me? Never met your parents, not even your mother, but let's see where this leads.
Thank you.
What should we do tonight? What if this breaks your little heart and mine? What should we do tonight? Let's just find out. Pretty blue jeans and me running through evergreen. Pretty blue jeans and me This breaks your little heart in mine. What shall we do tonight? Let's just find out. Pretty blue jeans and me, running through evergreen, running through evergreen. Pretty blue jeans and me, yeah, she's what I need.
I have returned. I've had the best weekend I've had in quite a while, to be honest, but also the best birthday that I've had. And I was actually thinking about this because I don't know if I've mentioned in this vlog, but I have been talking about it recently, how I don't really celebrate my birthday all that often because I just don't really have any ideas, and I also feel like a lot of pressure because I'm picking the activities, etc., to like make it a good time for everybody who's involved, even though like it's really not that deep. But the last time I know that I did something for my birthday was when I was 22, and it was kind of low-key, but it was like because of the nature of what it was. I went to the aquarium with my mum and dad. Like, it was a really, really good birthday. But this is like the best birthday I've had in like at least 8 years. So I had a phenomenal time. It was great. I had a really, really good weekend. Have I read anything? Not really. And I have 10 hours left to finish The Intimacy Experiment by Rosie Danan. Now, to be fair to myself, I'm now on page 247, so I only have like 65 pages to go. And my plan is to chip away at this in small increments throughout the day until we get up to 8 p.m. because I just don't really think I have the time to sit down and just read it in a chunk without my mind like going at a million miles an hour, because I can't lie, anxiety has crept in a little bit. Essentially, when I'm going to New York, Ashley is coming to pet sit and house sit for me while I'm away, and there are rail strikes on the day that her train was booked for, so like it's been cancelled and she's had to rebook, but she's now coming 3 days earlier, which has like obviously rearranged my plan for the week. I just generally know that the weekend's over. I'm realizing I'm going away in a week and I have a lot to do before that. I have to prep all of my videos in advance so that there's no like breaking content for you guys, and also just generally make sure I have everything that I need before I go, make sure I've sorted all my documentation, everything that needs to be booked in advance, that kind of thing. So yeah, now that the weekend is over and that's the next thing that I'm thinking about, anxiety has been with me. She's not a pal, but she is a companion, and she has been with me since yesterday morning. So I am struggling with that a little bit, but for today, what I really need to do for the next 3 days is just knuckle down and get things done. I'm having a filming day today where I'll be filming pretty much every video for the rest of the month, excluding vlogs and my June TBR. But then I also realized that my adult fairy loot that was supposed to be delivered on Thursday, that I missed the delivery of. I didn't. It's just our every driver, who to be fair is absolutely lovely, wonderful, and goes above and beyond. But he only rings the doorbell, and the front door is here, and I spend a lot of time in this room, so if I'm listening to music, I can't really hear the doorbell because that's at the back of the house, like where it plugs in. Whereas if you knock, I can hear it because I'm obviously right by the door. So I missed it on Thursday. I wasn't in Friday, and now today is a bank holiday, so I'm not sure whether he's actually going to be working. And I need it to film my unboxings. So things aren't going to plan, but that is what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, is just film and edit as much as I possibly can. And that's going to be my life for the rest of this week. So I'm not sure how much reading is going to get done. Definitely going to finish this by tonight. I have abandoned the Dragon Reborn for now. I am just not, like, I just don't have the brain to read this right now, not even 35 pages a day. And I feel like if I had to sit down and read 35 pages a day in my current mindset, I wouldn't get through it, and I'd also read absolutely nothing else. So this is just gonna wait until I get back from New York. I'm gonna have to binge it a bit more than I'm usually comfortable doing with books in that series. But as far as my enjoyment of this one, I'm still not having a good time with it. I still find it very, very boring. And I think I don't like the characters. They don't feel like people. I feel like I'm being told how they feel and told how they act and told who they are. And the main character, like one of her main issues, like her main issue essentially, is that something like pretty like vaguely traumatic happened when she was a teenager that has influenced how she behaves in romantic relationships. And she's essentially very guarded, and she puts on this performance. She's also a porn star as well, which obviously lends itself to how she can behave in romantic relationships. So she puts on this performance and she does it to protect herself and never really let anyone in. But I don't feel like I'm feeling that. I feel like I'm being told that. Obviously part part of, with that being her main problem, like a key part of this romance is going to be overcoming that and allowing herself to be vulnerable. But we've had discussions like this. We've had discussions about how romantic and sexual relationships can be different in different contexts, and how like different circumstances can influence your feelings and attitudes regarding specific relationship scenarios and like sexual encounters. But I feel like when we're breaking through that barrier, I still feel like she's putting on a performance. You know, like I don't feel the vulnerability from her, and I feel like her behavior, her as a character, feels very performative, which does make sense in the terms of her character arc of like having this shell around her and having this persona that she puts on. But then in the moments of vulnerability where she's supposed to be being vulnerable and we're supposed to be breaking through that, it still feels like a performance. It still feels very porny, if that makes sense. And also a lot of this is about religion, because it's about the fact that this guy is a rabbi, it's about Judaism, it is about, once again, the main character's vulnerability and embracing kind of that side of herself and having like a fully fleshed out like 3D life that allows things like love and or like religion into her life, that isn't just this like perfectly curated veneer that she's put on. And religion for me, as we know in books when we're talking about real world religion, is a topic that I'm not especially interested in because of my like views on religion in the real world, which is just like, for me in my life it serves no purpose, and I have very little interest in it outside of kind of like knowing the basics of religion from like I guess like an educational standpoint, like just to be aware of things. So yeah, this is very much not doing it for me. I absolutely would have DNF'd this about 150 pages ago if I wasn't reading it for a book club, so it's tedious that I do still have to get through it, but at least it's going to be over soon. The book club live show will be tonight and I can move on to something that's hopefully a little bit more enjoyable. Please excuse my voice during this update, but I don't know whether, because I woke up, I don't even know if I told you, I filmed so much today, I don't even know if I told you this morning that I woke up with a sore throat, but I did, and I don't know whether I genuinely like have a sore throat or whether it's just because I filmed, this is my second vlog update, 3 videos, and I've just done the Literature live show that's making my voice do this. But regardless, I think after the weekend I really need to recharge my battery. It's really tempting to play Fortnite, but I think I should get in bed with my book and have an early night. But to be able to do that, we need to pick a new book, because I know you're surprised, but I did finish The Intimacy Experiment by Rosie Danan. It's only the 8th of May, guys, and this is the only book I've read. I know I'm doing real well, right? I gave this 1 star. one star. I will link the live show discussion that we just did for this, because obviously if you've read this book and you want my really detailed thoughts, we really went into detail on like some scenes and like contradictions in this book. But I just, aside from what I've already said about this, and I am going to try and keep it brief so that I'm not straining my throat any more than has already been strained today. Aside from everything I've already said, there are a lot of contradictions in this book. There's a lot of plot points that come up and kind of ultimately go nowhere. I don't like the main character. I feel like her behavior, especially at the end of this book, very much contradicted her at the beginning of this book. I feel like there's a lot of conveniences. There isn't any real character progression. The plot and the supporting characters kind of bend themselves around the main characters instead of the main characters kind of working out this relationship. It's like the main characters are meant to be together, so they're gonna be together and everybody else has to just get behind it. And there's no real growth or progression of them working out how they're gonna like fit their lives around each other. And there are so many grey areas for discussion with this book that just don't exist. Like, we talk about religion and Judaism and how some religious practices are outdated and can be modernized, but we lightly touch upon the topic because nothing in this book is given the attention that it deserves. Religion is something that has a lot of like nuance to it, especially when we're talking about like old practices versus modern practices, and this book could have really like had a discussion about that, but it all felt very surface level, like we were using representation as tropes to sell a book as opposed to actually giving the topics the like attention that they deserve. And I felt the same with Naomi. Like I just don't understand the point of anything that she's doing. This book starts off with her wanting to get more experience or like get jobs, like practical jobs, like teaching in here and like bringing the online business into the real world. And I just felt like she essentially spat all over that at the end of this book, obviously, like without, I'm not going to spoil it, but I don't know, I felt like this was boring and the characters were two-dimensional and we were making like giant leaps. There was so much work that I had to do to read between the lines and like gather what was going on and fill in the blanks, because Rosie Danan was not doing it for me. And also, like, there's a big thing about, like, right at the beginning, the way that Naomi talks about religion, it very much feels like she's come from a religious background. She's come from not necessarily Judaism, but I was assuming it was Judaism, and her religion had rejected her as she got into sex work, which is why she's so cagey at the very beginning of this book about religion, because she's interested in it, but it's like she's scared of it in the same way that she's scared of relationships in case she gets hurt. And there's talk about her parents and their religion throughout the book, which was very contradictory to what I'd kind of assumed about her based on her behavior. And then at the end, it was kind of just like resolved without any of the middle bits we filled in. It's very difficult to talk about this without spoilers, and I don't want to spoil it for you, even though I very much do want to, because I want to talk about it. So I will, if you want to know, because Kaylee didn't like it very much either, so if you want to know, I will link that live show because it was all covered there. But I gave this 1 star. I haven't had a 1 star since at least 2021, but I can't even guarantee that I had one then. I liked nothing about this book. The only decent thing that I rated it on is that the writing's fine. Like, it's not badly written in terms of the writing itself. So yeah, that was okay. Everything, like, I could not tell you a single thing about this book that I actually enjoyed. And while I don't hate it, while I don't feel ragey about it, it's very like, I'm feeling very like ambivalent of it overall. Like, this will very quickly fade from my memory. There's not a single positive thing that I can say about that book. So next, I'm feeling quite flighty right now, which isn't a usual, like, it's not a familiar emotion for me, but I'm very aware that I'm going on holiday in a week. Like, this time next week, I think I'll almost be in New York. Yeah, I've been flying for like 6 hours, so I'll have like less than 2 hours of my flight left. And I kind of want to finish the book that I'm reading before I go, but everything on my TBR is quite thick. And with my mind being like where it is right now, there's no guarantee that I'm actually going to be able to do that. So we're just going to see what happens. And I'm just going to go with like my next priority read, I guess, outside of The Dragon Reborn, which I'm trying not to think about, and that is Blood Solace by Viola Roth. This was in my birthday unboxing that I filmed today. This one was a gift from Shannon, so thank you very much to Shannon for sending this one my way. This is the current book, the April and May book for my Patreon book club, which is the Alpha Ho book club, where we read through like an entire fantasy romance series. I've been very interested in picking this one up since I finished the first book, and I did really want to get to it in April because I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of time this month. But you know how I am for thinking I'm going to get to things and just not. But this one is 578 pages. The first one was very, very slow. It took me a long time to read it, especially to get through the first like 80 pages. It took a long time because it was just nothing was making sense. I felt like I was thrown in and nothing was happening. I didn't understand what was going on. I'm hoping that now I have a grasp of what this book actually is, that the pace is going to be, while I still expect it to be slow in pace and also like heavily political, I have a little bit of an understanding about the world and the characters, so I feel like my interest level is going to be there to get me through, where it wasn't obviously right at the beginning of the first book. But this one is a fantasy romance series. It contains like a vampiric race called the Hesperines that very much differ from traditional vampire lore. They're more like creatures that are in harmony with nature, and when they take blood from creatures or people, they give blood back. So it's like or not give blood back, but the body replenishes the blood that they're taking. So they very much work with nature, and they won't eat like anything dead. They're very like peaceful creatures. But the main female character is the bastard daughter of the king, and she is trying to talk to a Hesperine. So even though she normally goes out of her way to avoid her father, she works it out so that she's at the place where the royal court go for summer at the same time that a Hesperine delegation are arriving to renegotiate the terms of a peace treaty that has lapsed because the Hesperines are hated in this world. They're seen as abhorrent. So they're trying to put this peace treaty back in place, but they're meeting a lot of resistance, and Cassia puts herself in the location where this is happening so that she can get close to a Hesperine. The majority of book one does take place in a series of conversations that Leo and Cassia have over a series of evenings, and eventually like the plot actually starts to heat up as well. So I really liked the first book. I gave it 4 stars. It was just the pacing that killed killed it for me a little bit because like I really struggled through the first 100 pages, and I feel like this format of just like switching between Leo and Cassia went on a little bit too long. So I'm expecting this is a 5-star prediction for me because I'm expecting it to be a step up from book 1 now that the introductory period is over. So I don't actually know if I'm going to read this physically or whether I'm going to read it on my iPad. Based on how I feel right now, I'm not sure if my eyes can handle iPad, but I know I struggled with physically reading this last time. Like it was like wading through mud. So we'll see how I go, but that's the current plan. I do have to make a spoiler video for this, which is kind of why I didn't want to pick it up, because like obviously now I'm tied into that kind of, and then if I don't finish the book I'll have to either carry it on in New York or put it on pause and not read any more of the book until I get back. But I feel like I'm just worrying too much about it, so we're just going to go with the flow. We'll start the book and whatever happens happens. I can't cope. She's stolen a slice of lemon because I dropped the box that I keep them frozen in, like the Tupperware box. I dropped it on the floor in the kitchen and shattered it, and they went everywhere. So she's stolen one, but obviously it's sour. So, oh my god. Like, she's determined. She's not letting it go.
Will we ever meet again on this side of heaven? Best friends are growing up, and there's no time for us to pretend we'd stay in touch. 'Cause everybody knows it will never be the same. We move on and people change. Yeah, those friends are growing up.
Hello, I have been sick, which is why I've been pretty absent from this vlog. I did say to you guys in my last update that I'd woken up with a sore throat on the Monday and then just like completely destroyed my voice through filming. So the last couple of days I've kind of just been resting. I've been pretty much just back to back editing videos in my pajamas, and I always find, actually, because I was thinking about it, when I'm on this kind of grind, which I do have a period of like a week to 10 days every month where I'm just filming and editing constantly, I feel like the vlogs tend to be lacking, because when I'm just sat at my desk making content, I don't really have anything to vlog about, so I feel like I neglect you guys. But I am feeling a lot better now. I have like pretty much no pain in my throat at all, because the only real symptom that I had was like a burning sore throat. So I feel almost 100% today. Probably like, I'd say I'm like maybe, well, we'll call it an 85. But I've just made the spare bed because Curtis has gone to pick up Ashley because she's coming to house sit while I'm in New York, which I think I've already mentioned. And I am finishing up content. So the last thing that I actually have that I'm working on is this vlog, and you know what, I actually don't really think I'm gonna read anything because I haven't been reading anything, but Ashley's here tonight, so I think there is a chance, it depends, but there is a chance that the only thing that we're really gonna do tonight is read. So tomorrow is the cutoff point for this vlog anyway. But in terms of my book, which is actually here because I've been sleeping in this room to stay away from Curtis just in case I had anything that was like especially contagious. I'm 50, oh wait, no I'm not, because I have actually read more than this. I did switch over to my Kindle as well, because I don't know what it is about this book, because the text isn't particularly small, and while it is a heavy book, it's not so heavy that I can't hold it, but I just don't like reading it physically. But I'm 72 pages into this, which obviously for like 3 days progress isn't very much, and I was wrong about being able to get into this so much quicker because I've already read the first book. This one is also proven to be quite slow, and where in the first book we started off with Cassia's perspective and then Leo's, I think, was introduced a couple of chapters in. This is 73 pages of solid Leo, and while I like the guy, his perspectives deal with the Hesperenes, obviously, because he is one, and learning like their politics, especially because it's not like it's in a different setting than the first one. Following that perspective with all of the like politics and the society and the magic, it's a bit dense, and he's not like, I would prefer a little bit more Cassia. I feel like we're gonna get there eventually, and I am interested to see what she's been doing, because this is set like 6 months after the end of the first book. So oh, here we go. I don't feel like I have far to go until we switch over to Cassia. Yeah, so 84 pages. I have 11 more pages. series, and then we're switching over to Cassia, so hopefully the pace will pick up a little bit more. I'm at the point now, because I make spoiler videos for the Alpha Ho book club picks for my patrons. I haven't even started the spoiler vlog for this because I really just don't have anything to say. So yeah, don't be surprised if I come back tomorrow to wrap up this vlog and I haven't read very much, but I am gonna leave us just one more day to see if I do get any reading done tonight, which I feel like it's likely I could do with a reading night as well, because I can't lie, I've pretty much just been working, like editing videos, watching Love is Blind. Actually, I finished season 3, and then playing Fortnite. That's been my schedule for the last like 3 days. I just got an Amazon parcel that I believe is from Aaron, because she messaged me last night and said that there's something arriving today and also tomorrow for my birthday, so thank you very much. She did ask me a question about the First Law series, so I don't know if it's one of those books. It is. This one is A Little Hatred by Jo Abercrombie. This one is the, I don't know what number this is. Oh, this is a nice loose binding. What number is this? Is this book 1? Yeah, so this is the first book in the second trilogy in the First Law world. So it's 1 trilogy, which is what we're currently reading, 3 standalones, a collection of short stories, and then a new trilogy. So this trilogy is called The Age of Madness. I don't know anything about it apart from that it is set in the First Law world. Oh, and that it's generational. So I'm expecting this one to obviously follow like descendants of the characters from the first trilogy, or potentially like the standalones. But yeah, that's all I know about it, and I can't even look into it anymore because I don't want to spoil myself. But thank you very much. I truly appreciate the people that prepare me for my own book clubs, because it saves me having to do it, you know. So yeah, thank you very much, Aaron, and you all know I am definitely going to be reading this at some point in the future, although it is going to be like next year.
From another lover, pretty blue jeans and me.
So I was pretty much spot on, and I read pretty much absolutely nothing yesterday. I'm on page 93 of this, and the level of procrastination that I had when I was trying to read is intense. And it's like, it's completely a me thing. Like, yes, the beginning of this I'm finding a little bit slow, but ultimately, like, it's me and my lack of concentration and the way that I've given myself, I normally don't give myself enough time, or I feel really pressured to get things done in a short amount of time. I've given myself too much time to get ready to go on holiday. So like, I'm just kind of sat around being like, oh, I'll do this random small thing. Oh, I'll do this random small thing. And I'm just itching to go at this point. So concentration, like, I just can't really sit still right now. So reading has not been productive. I don't have any more thoughts either than what I shared with you yesterday. So I guess my book for New York, I'm going to be taking this with me. That might make the spoiler vlog quite interesting. But at the same time, I don't actually think I'm going to read a massive amount of it. But I do have it. I won't be taking the physical book. I think I'm taking Iron Gold by Pierce Brown as my physical book. And I'll read this one on KU because like that's how I've been reading it anyway. So that is it for reading, and I am wrapping this vlog up here. But before I do, I have 2 parcels that have arrived today. One is from Amazon, and it is a second gift from Aaron. Thank you once again. And the other one is from a publisher. So we'll start off with the one from Aaron. And this feels like a very sturdy book, so I'm intrigued what she's got me, because I thought it would just be the next Jo Abercrombie. Oh no. Aaron did tell me to read this. This is a fantasy romance that Aaron really enjoyed. I can't remember if she gave it 5 stars. This is a beautiful book. Oh my god. Look, all of the pages have this edging along, like literally all of them. This is also something that I have on KU because I have been prepping my KU library for the flight on Monday. But to be fair, I have also downloaded all of season 4 of Love is Blind. So I feel like you can guess which one I'm going to lean towards, and I don't think it's going to be the 16 Kindle books that I made sure I had downloaded. But this is one of them, and it's actually shorter than I thought it was. I did look into it at the time that Aaron recommended it to me. It's called Rain and Ruin, by the way, by J.D. Evans, and it's the first book in the Mages of the Wheel series, and it has obviously a romantic plot line, but also I think it focuses on elemental magic. It says she's the heir to a sultanate that once ruled the world. He is an unwanted prince with the power to destroy. I am very excited to get to this at some point, especially because I feel like it's going to have a little bit more of a fantasy plot line than you get with some fantasy romance. romance, and I personally prefer my fantasy romance to have a really good fantasy, like a really good detailed epic fantasy plotline, and I feel like there's potential to get that with this series. And I really like the covers. Can't believe how beautiful the inside of this book is. So thank you very much, Aaron. I actually didn't think you were going to send me this, but it makes a lot of sense. A little bit nervous though. With fantasy romance we do line up a little bit more, but when it comes to contemporary romance we have very opposite tastes. So hopefully I do really like this one. I have very high hopes. And then the other one is from a publisher. This is from Pan Macmillan. Also very exciting if it is what I think it is, but I wasn't expecting it. I feel like I keep, whenever arcs are coming my way, I feel like I'm expecting them to take a lot longer than they actually do. Oh yeah, no, this is what I think it is. Oh my god. And it's gorgeous. Look at that foiling. This is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare, which is a book that I'm very intrigued about, because I have very mixed feelings about Cassandra Clare in general, okay? But one thing that I cannot deny is that I really like her books. I think that they're addictive. I think she's really good at writing characters that you can root for. And even though some of the like themes can be kind of samey to what she's written in the past, she writes what she writes very well. So I'm always very dubious when authors are making the jump from YA to adult, but I definitely knew that I wanted to give this one a try, because like I said, while I do have mixed feelings, I actually really like her books. And I think the lowest rating I've ever given one of her books is 3 stars, and that is The Infernal Devices, which I know is a lot of people's favorite Shadowhunter series, but for me it's because it's historical that I just found it quite boring a lot of the time. But all of her, like The Mortal Instruments, loved it when I read it. I read one of the books in the Dark Artifices recently, or like in the last couple of years, loved it. So I'm very excited to see what her adult debut is like. I actually don't know very much about it aside from that it is a fantasy, like a high fantasy, I think, which I can confirm that it is. And I feel like it's multi-perspective, but the synopsis says 2 outcasts have the power to change everything, but will they grasp the hand of destiny? In the vibrant city-state of Castellane, a young orphan named Kel is stolen from his old life to enter a new one of luxury and peril. He's to become Prince Connor Aurelian's body double, shielding the prince from all dangers. As his sword catcher, he and Connor become close as brothers, yet Kel lives for one purpose: to die for Connor. Lincaster is an Ashkar physician. This is definitely multi-perspective. Part of a community ostracised for its rare magical abilities, but events pull her and Kel together and into the web of the mysterious ragpicker king who rules Castellane's criminal underworld. Together they'll discover an extraordinary conspiracy, but can forbidden love bring down a kingdom? And will their discoveries plunge their nation into war and the world into chaos? So this one is released on the 10th of October. So we have quite a while into release, and I think for me, I'm going to be picking this one up in September-ish. I will say that the synopsis, nothing about the synopsis indicates necessarily that it's like, it doesn't feel super adult to me, but I'm definitely excited to dive into this one. So stay tuned for my thoughts. How thick is it? 600 pages. She's a chunky one. Thank you, of course, to Pan Macmillan and Black Crow PR for sending this one my way. So what a way to end a vlog. 2 books that I'm very excited to read, and one that I'm very much struggling to get through. It's one of those situations where I want to read, and like I've been watching BookTube and I've like gotten some books recently and I'm really excited to read. There's just a block between me and reading that I cannot get past right now, but hopefully it'll probably clear up when I'm back off holiday, to be fair. But yeah, the next vlog that you're gonna see from me is the New York vlog, which, oh my god, I'm so excited, but at this stage I feel like it still doesn't feel real because it's been like 4 years since I've been out of the country on holiday, but I'm so hyped. So yeah, do stay tuned for that if you are interested. I'm going to try and give you some reading content in that vlog. Whether I do or not, I mean, who knows? But do stay tuned if you are interested. And also, before I wrap it up, because I just remembered that my birthday was in this vlog, thank you so much to everybody who wished me a happy birthday. There were quite a few of you, and I do obviously appreciate it. But yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed this vlog if you've made it this far. If you have, please don't forget to like if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you will go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.